some attention.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're like, well, where's he talking to?
Yeah, it's like we're talking out into fucking no man's land.
I thought you just spoke to one another.
Huh?
I thought you just spoke to one another.
I mean, we do,
but you still want to address
you do have to address any kind of audience that you might have out here, whether it be one person or 3 people. Like, you gotta have it. Anyway, here we are.
We're back.
We are back. We're gonna do a quick beer review for you guys, and then I gotta get downstairs and watch my Eagles play. They're currently down.
They could have scored some sweeping
13-0 the last that we checked, but it's a thing. It's a thing. We have a guest tonight, David. He's from the UK. David, say anything. Say absolutely anything.
You should have gave him a script.
I know. I should have said something.
Yeah, he's like, oh shit, I'm on the spot.
I wasn't expecting that. It was a bit on the blue.
You're right. So as you can tell, David's from the UK. So anything that you don't understand, we'll translate later. I didn't tell him prior to recording this, but I am about to give him a little bit of shit about his accent.
Well, like I said, we did invent the language. You are somewhat behind us. So.
Right. All right. And we're going to do a quick beer review tonight. We have the luxury of having David sit in with us, and then we're going to get downstairs because there's food. We're going to watch the game. But I had the opportunity to bring some beer back from Brewdog. And I don't know if we've discussed this on camera prior to this engagement, but Brewdog has a hotel. They're located in, do you remember?
Columbus, Ohio.
No. Canal Winchester, Ohio.
Never heard of it.
Yeah. It's a very small town. I don't want to get into why I was up there or how I know that because I feel like that's incriminating.
Wow.
Right. But
he's on the run. He's on the lam.
And no, he's not on the lam. My goodness. No, I just happen to have the opportunity to get up there and then have lunch over at Brewdog, which was phenomenal. I had a buffalo cauliflower. It was actually pretty good. They served it with blue cheese. And I ate it, regardless. So, I had the opportunity to bring back a little bit of beer. And obviously, I brought back a growler. And they're like, what do you want in it? And I was like, IPA. Right. But knowing that there was a possibility that we were going to be able to do a beer review, I brought something different back. So I brought back Brewdog's Dream Taker, and I don't know if you can see that right there. Oh, maybe close. Over here too. And it is a 5% raspberry and Earl Grey pale ale.
Wow.
So it's raspberry and tea.
Does that mean it's healthier?
No, it absolutely does not mean that it's healthier. No. And I feel like we had one of these last night. You tried this last night.
I tried that last night.
Yeah, but let's not ruin it. We have a method here.
Nope.
So I'm the only one who hasn't
have a
had
method here, and we're gonna hit David to our method and what we're doing right now. So, without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and pour some of this up. Marlon, you were just in South Carolina?
I was just in Greenville, South Carolina.
Okay.
Oh my God! Please let me tell this story.
Yeah, do it.
Greenville, South Carolina. Must be home of the slow driver. Must be home.
I feel like day one you were pissed.
I was day one. Home of the no passing lane driver. I had to drive from Greenville to Pendleton, which is like 35 miles south. So when we're here in Indiana and you want to pass somebody, and there's 3 lanes, you get to the 3rd passing lane on the left, so you can pass everybody in the middle and on the right lane. These people would change lanes to go the same speed as a person that they were supposed to be passing because I got to get to work. So it was awful for me because I have a super duper lead foot. Okay. So the speed limit was 60 to 65. So when they're not passing, they're doing 55 to 60, maybe 62, and think they're really killing it. And they're not going anywhere. I'm like, move! I'm like totally just wigging out.
Ludicrous?
Totally.
It was ludicrous?
If I had a missile launcher on my car, it'd have been carnage on the road. If there's a big boot on my front of my car, boom, get out of the way, everybody. But I was pretty awful. I was a pretty awful driver. I got up to some pretty gnarly speeds that I don't want to take.
You don't want to incriminate yourself.
I don't.
So what was the fast lane? Far right, far left.
Far left.
At least now I know.
Yep.
Well, thank God you weren't in.
The months I've been I go for the middle.
You weren't in South Carolina, so you're safe. But either way, it was so awful, just the driving. And then when I'm trying to move up and pass people, I'm speed racer, just dipping in and out of lanes. And I feel like I'm safe until you see other drivers like putting hands out the windows on, like, slow down.
They were really trying to slow you down driving in.
A couple people did.
Wow.
They were doing, I mean, again, 60 to 65. I was doing for, I don't want to incriminate myself. So let's say I was doing 66.
So 90. I feel like that's where you're heading with that. So I was doing 66.
Yeah, I was pretty close to 65. But it was
so full of shit.
It was pretty bad. I was so mad almost every day going to work. Coming home wasn't so bad. Of course, you get your regular traffic or people going home, whatever. But
right,
it was bad. I hated driving there every day.
And you were there for like 2 weeks, right?
2 weeks. 2 weeks of that.
So how's that for a perpetual hell?
When I got back home and saw open lanes, it was like the calm and peace just reigned over my body. I was in my own car that I hadn't been sitting for 2 weeks.
Right.
So I got in, not even knowing my own car. Like, who's been in here?
Right.
Like the wheel felt high, the seat was back. Somebody's messing with the lumbar.
Uh-oh.
Are you kidding?
We gonna get back to you, girl.
Someone phone?
Yeah.
That's the missus.
That's the missus.
Oh.
Did you ever establish a boo thing?
I gave her a new nickname today.
Which was
what you saw on there. It was a Care Bear.
Gotcha.
She's
So not Charlemagne the God.
I'm not calling her that. I'm not blowing her head up that won't even fit in the room.
Right.
But she'll be my Care Bear.
So, that's Marlon's little story about being gone in South Carolina for a couple weeks. You were gone for 2 weeks,
yep.
Which is kind of why we haven't really necessarily been on, but we're going to bring you this quick beer review real quick. We have David from the UK. He's sitting in on this. According to David, all U.S. beer is shit.
Whoa.
So we're going to see if we can change his mind with a little bit of this Brewdog beer. So, Dream Taker. I had the opportunity to bring beer back from Brewdog. If you know anything about Brewdog, it is and I didn't know this going into it, it is a Scottish-based brewery.
Didn't know that.
So I thought that was really weird until I overheard someone talking to someone else, and the accent was clearly Scottish. So in Canal, Winchester, Ohio, we go to this brewery, and then we come to find out it looks like a high school, honestly. So you know how a high school has the little like signage thing out by the road, and then you drive down this long road, and then you get there, and it's this huge building. Their brew section, the part where they actually brew beer, is vast. It's huge, right? But the facility itself is huge as well. It's dual story, so 2 stories. Upstairs you have tables. I'm assuming from people coming from the hotel, where they can kind of look down on what's going on the floor. No televisions. No television. Yeah, no televisions. They want you to socialize with each other. So it's kind of like Hop River here in town,
That's not a bad idea.
where they don't have any televisions. They have games. They have pinball. They have old school arcade games, things of that nature. They have fire pits going on outside. For the summer, they have like this small pond. There's a bridge. You can walk out into the woods. All kinds of things. It's a very, very large facility, a whole lot larger than I really imagined it would be. And then on top of that, the hotel, which is very limited edition, let's say.
One of the suites, if I remember reading correctly, looks over into the brewery.
Right, yeah, it does, and we could see it. Also, you could get in a hot tub full of IPA. I would do it. I would certainly do it. I would get into a hot tub of beer just to say that I did it. We were talking. I was talking to the other gentleman that I was there with, and I was like, rumor is you can do this, and they're like, I don't know. I'm like, you only live once, man. I would do it just to say that I did it, and I get the fuck out and shower.
See, I don't see the point of that.
What?
You might as well get the beer and throw it over your head. No.
But they produce enough beer.
If you sit in it and drink it, maybe, but not just getting it.
Why would you want to sit in it and drink it? You can
Why
sit
do you
in
want
it
to sit in
and
and not drink it?
you
know,
you could seriously.
you're sitting in a tub of beer.
Yes.
Drink it, or don't sit in it.
Your
and drink
ass
it.
is in the same tub of beer.
Take a shower before you get in.
Really?
Yeah, but I'm drinking it, and it's my ass in it.
Boom.
I wouldn't drink it for your ass in it, but I drink it as my ass in it. I'm drinking my ass, and that's great. I don't want to drink your ass. I don't expect you to drink mine.
Right.
But, 2 in the bath would be wrong.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
I personally, I would prefer to have a can of beer while I'm sitting my ass in some beer.
I'm with David on this one.
I feel like you would be.
You come out, you'd be
What's that mean?
sticky and wet, and no.
Either way, I
Like
would
you
do
can
it.
dunk yourself under. Just start.
No,
I mean, yeah, even in a lake, a little bit of water gets in your
it's
mouth.
just a waste of beer.
But
You're
I'm
not
not
going to drink it,
even
you're
on
going
that.
to waste it.
I'm not gonna essentially like Peter Griffin or Homer Simpson and get a straw and be like, "Oh, this is delicious."
You get out of the bath, you got a bath full of beer, where's it go? Goes down, plug up.
Sure.
Waste.
No.
That is a happy time
So
for someone.
you're getting a glass.
You don't have to have
Not
a glass.
after you've been in it. Well, I might do after I've been in it.
Right.
You don't
Or
have
I'll just
to
go
have a
into the
glass.
straw.
Right.
You stick your head in it. and
I
go
feel
at
like
it.
that would end up.
But to get in it, come out and just watch it flow away. No, that beer could have been used for something better.
And you're not wrong. You're absolutely not wrong. But I still would do that. Which brings us to the reason why we're here. We're gonna do this beer review. Like we said, Brewdog Dream Taker. It is a raspberry and Earl Grey pale ale. When I picked up this beer, I thought Marlin, honestly,
Thanks.
because I brought back a growler of an IPA, and I knew that he would not fucking drink it. He was gonna be like, "Why the fuck would you do this to me? I'll try just a little bit. I hate it. Can we move on to the next thing?" I brought this back, and I thought, man, you know what? Marlon might enjoy this. I've never had it before prior to being at Brewdog, so this is something that you can't get here.
I think that's something that happened last time you did bring an IPA in.
Yeah, you
I
thought
took
it
a
was
sip.
fucking horrible.
It was awful.
Yeah. So without further ado, let's go ahead and have a drink of this Dream Taker. Initial thoughts, guys,
Ooh.
and smelling. What do you think?
It's not as bad as I thought it'd be. I'll
Okay.
be honest, it's not as bad. You don't get the tea. You might as well not have. It's one
Definitely don't
ingredient
get the
too
tea.
many.
Right.
What's the point of the tea if you can't taste
was-
it? It's not there. It's not has no purpose. It's not going to make. It's not healthier.
What was the percent on it?
5%.
5.
So it's a pretty standard beer. It's not like it's driven up in alcohol content. I feel like the fact that it is 5%, it's meant to be
In fact,
more refreshing than
I wouldn't
it
say
is.
there's much raspberry in it either.
I feel like raspberry is the initial taste. And then that taste that kind of lingers is that Earl Grey.
But here's the thing. You know what I taste in it? It
Slightly
almost
hoppy.
tastes close to a Gosa.
There's hops. There's strong hops flavour.
Well,
Definitely.
A Gosa is like a sour beer, basically.
There's that much hops in it. It almost tastes citrus.
Yeah, it
That's
is,
what I think.
but it is citrus because think of the residual taste of raspberry. If you were to eat pure raspberry,
Yeah, it'd be a sour,
So-
citrusy type almost.
compare this to any raspberry wheat that you've had, maybe from Matt Anthony.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you get a little bit of raspberry. It's not like
Those other ones are a little more flavorful. I mean, I know it's raspberry, but it honestly it borderlines a watermelon
really interesting.
for my palate.
Anoop's watching.
Wait,
Iron Hoop.
Hey, Anoop. Look who we kidnapped.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
all the way from India.
Yeah.
India.
Yeah.
he's taking
Right?
Great.
Yeah, you need to get to bed.
Yeah, nah, stay up. Watch this beer review real quick. So initial thoughts. What do you got?
Like you guys said, it is refreshing, but the flavors are different in my palate.
Right.
Like I said, it's lighter. I don't get raspberry. Again, mine floats a little bit more toward.
We do have Dave on the show, Anoop. Check him out. He's sitting right here with us.
Yeah.
Hey.
I'm back to teach.
He'll see you in this one.
Yeah.
This one's for YouTube.
Yeah.
This is gonna go on YouTube later.
I'm here to bring the Americans to the 20th century.
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah. Or to kind of shit on
Yeah.
American beer. Either one.
No, when I said all American beers, you go in these places, you go in, I don't know, Summit Brewer or something, and they've got 80, 90 brews there, all brews that's been made. How many of them are actually good? How many of them have had time? Yeah, thank you, Anu. Well, so how many of these 80 odd brews are going to be good? How much effort's gone into them? Just someone getting a load of stuff, putting it together, and making it as strong as they can and selling it. There's probably a handful that have been crafted.
Well, but I also feel like, as far as Summit goes, I'm gonna go ahead and defend them because I love Summit.
It's good to experiment.
Not all of their beers are necessarily high in alcohol content, so some of them are experimenting.
You can experiment, but don't sell the shit ones. That's all I'm saying.
But what's shit to you might not be shit to someone else. Yeah. For example, I love IPA. Marlon doesn't particularly care for them. The hoppy beers. You like ciders because they're not essentially dense.
I like pale ales. I like pale ales that are balanced, correct between the bitterness and the sweetness. That's the idea of it. If it's so much hops, you can't taste it. It's to me.
But you taste the hops.
Yeah, but
that's the good part.
Beer is supposed to be a balance between the sweet and the bitter, not pure 100% bitter.
So
pure 100% sweet?
Have you ever taken anything to the extreme?
Yeah, but you can go over the top.
You can, and it's that over the top which makes a notable experience sometimes.
Yeah, they go over the top.
Now I'd be a liar if I said that sometimes a beer that I thought was going to be good actually tasted like shit. Right. I have been disappointed,
right? And
there are beers that I won't drink, but the creativity that goes into brewing beer outside of a recipe.
Yeah,
to say
there's a lot to it. I know there's a lot to it, and they are experimenting. But how skilled are they? That's all I'm asking. Especially there's got so many places that do their own.
Actually, one of the brewers. It's funny that I know this. One of the brewers at Summit City Brewworks actually brewed at a brewery in Michigan called Dark Horse.
Oh yeah.
Out of Marshall, Michigan. And Dark Horse makes some pretty good beers. Dark Horse is known for darker beers, so stouts, porters. They do make a few IPAs, but they make a blueberry stout, and I've never had a blueberry stout like this.
That's different.
Yeah, and it's almost like a breakfast beer.
It's different.
So Marshall, Michigan, Dark Horse. We took that brewer. He went up there. He lived here. I know for a fact. He lived here. He went up there. He became a brewmaster at that particular brewery, and then came back here and came to Summit, and has brewed some of Summit's more notable beers in the last year, let's say. His expertise obviously is stouts and porters because of where he brewed at before. So Summit took that and they added that to their repertoire, and they expanded their beer menu to include more stouts and porters. Most notably, we were there last weekend to watch Left Lane, and
that's who they were.
Right.
I couldn't remember who they were.
Yeah, we went and watched Left Lane Cruiser, which was awesome, and it was their 5-year anniversary, and they were offering a Banana Foster's Stout.
Ooh,
16%.
It was 15.4%.
And it tasted of pure hops, because I had some the other day.
It did not taste of pure hops. It was
drinkable. It was very drinkable. Very drinkable.
When you
didn't taste 16%.
Well, you put hops in anything. There's hops in Pilsners.
It didn't taste as strong as what the label said it was.
There's hops in, Bud Light. There's hops in Miller Lite.
Yeah.
It's just a different kind of hops, and there's a lot less of it. When you think hops, you think IPA. You think stank.
Yes.
Right. But
for the most part,
the fact of the matter is that you use hops in anything that you brew primarily, unless you're brewing a cider.
You know yourself, there's different hops as well.
Yeah, certainly.
Different strength, there's different bitternesses, some sweet, some hot.
Right.
But,
So, to me, this particular stout was not hoppy. Very smooth, very drinkable, very velvety, if I can use that term. Right.
Sounds
and
nice.
15.4%. So I only got you guys just got Taj Mahal, am I wrong? There's not so many options there. No. Come on back, Anu. Come back and hang out with us. Look at this.
Yeah, they have elephant beer, that's it.
He did bring us a Taj Mahal from India the last time he was there.
Elephant beer, and there's another one I can't remember, but there's about 3.
So what were we talking about? We were talking about hops and different flavors.
Yeah.
And I don't particularly feel like the stouts are very hoppy. I don't feel like they're hoppy at all. I wouldn't even notice the hops in a stout. I definitely notice them in the IPAs because that's primarily what I drink. You know, so Dream Taker, Brewdog. Now, David,
it's better than I thought.
Okay, all right. So this is what we do essentially, and you're a guest here on Three Crafty Bastards. We'd love to have you.
Yes.
But we essentially do two things when we're rating beers. We put our hands out.
Yeah.
And we give it in true gladiator fashion.
Oh, up or down?
Up or down. That's right.
Down means death.
Down means death.
But in reality, it didn't.
Okay, ready?
Right.
3,
for this.
2, 1.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. All right. We got one that David liked.
It doesn't say. It doesn't taste of what it has on the can, but it's a nice drink. It's okay.
Right. So, on a 5-star scale, what would you rate this beer?
3.5.
3.5?
Yeah.
Okay. Marlon?
I'm with him on a 3.5.
3.5?
Yeah.
Me, I'm gonna go 4. I feel like I'm always like playing it up. I'm always I'm the Paula Abdul on American Idol right here. If I got Randy Jackson on my left and I got Simon Cowell on my right,
wow,
I'm the Paula. You see what I did there?
Perfect.
Yeah, right. I'm the Paula Abdul, so I'm like,
it's not gonna do it for me, dog.
Yeah,
I'm not feeling that one.
There's a very beautiful thing that you did, and I can appreciate it. However, it was horrible. Simon, what do you think?
Dog.
That's more like Michael Jackson.
Dog.
That's Paula Abdul when she's been drinking. Who knows what she's got in that Coca-Cola glass?
Yeah, true enough.
Right. So
it does taste like a young beer.
Yeah,
it's a young beer.
I can agree with that.
Yeah,
I can 100% agree with that.
That's probably one that probably tastes worse once it's aged.
I hadn't thought of that, but I can
could
agree with
almost
that.
agree with that.
Yeah, I can agree with that as well. I feel like the raspberry flavor would dissipate, and the Earl Grey would kind of take over.
Earl Grey beer.
I'm not a fan of
I like Earl Grey
beer tea or tea beer
or
however the fuck
you
want
to it. What better?
Which one?
Darjeeling.
I've never had it. I know what that is though.
Yeah.
I've never had
it. It's like an Indian beer.
And I don't know what.
No, I'm sorry, Indian tea.
Tea, yeah.
It's like an Indian tea.
Most teas in the UK come from India.
Oh. Nice. Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna give it a 4. I think it's great. I think as far as experimenting, I've never had a beer that has experimented with Earl Grey tea in conjunction with any kind of fruit flavor or tea. Period. You know, typically when you have something that is experimenting with tea here locally, since we're in the Midwest,
I don't think why you wouldn't have tea. Tea, you know.
Yeah, but
here tea's a tannin. You have tannin in beer.
There, but here in the Midwest, we mix our sweet tea with vodka, and we drink it with lemonade.
But I haven't been many places where you put coffee in it either.
Oh, he's not wrong.
No.
Which is kind of the general.
Coffees are strong. The taste. Teas are more subtle.
Style. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna give it a 4. And I think what Brewdog has done here, I think, is a next step. You know, it's something that it's something for someone that can appreciate something different. Let's say that.
I think I've been to Brewdog in the UK, and I'm guessing you have the same stuff. I find Brewdog is a lot of the alcohol content is very high, so you lose some of the taste.
Right.
But that's probably one of the best Brewdogs I've had.
Actually, the growler that I brought back was like 7%, and it was an IPA, which is why we're not reviewing it right now.
Are they usually higher than that, or a little bit higher? Are they?
Yeah, but it was a very it was a variation of their hazy IPA.
That's what I brought back from Indy.
Right. So it was a little different. Like they tweaked it a little bit, and then they offered it as this. So for Three Crafty Bastards, I'm B. Smith. We got to get back to the Eagles game. Honestly, I don't know what the score is. But I'm dying right now. I feel like fuck you. First of all, I feel like since Chris Gerardo is watching right now, he's about to update us on the Eagles Dallas score.
If you don't turn it off fast enough.
You know what, man? If he breaks my heart, I'm shutting this shit down right now.
You see, Dallas, classic team, Eagles.
You are a guest.
So I'm always right. Guess is always right.
No.
Guess is always right.
That's the customer.
No, yeah, that's the customer, not the guest.
Yeah.
We're Eagles in this house. So for Three Crafty Bastards, of course, I'm B. Smith, and to my left,
I'm Mr. Matterhorn.
Mr. Matterhorn.
Yeah.
Give us the full name.
The official full name is Alonzo Rufus Matterhorn III.
That's your real name.
No, it's not.
Oh,
No.
fair enough.
It's the name that they gave
I was
him.
basically knighted at work
Right.
as Alonzo Rufus Matterhorn III.
His real name is Marlon. We call him Mr. Classic.
Marlon.
Yeah.
Wasn't Marlon a character in Bugs Bunny? Little.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I know that was,
Marvin the Martian.
Marvin.
I was going to say, I know that was Nemo's dad's name, though.
Ah.
Yeah.
You know that.
And to my right, our guest for this evening,
It's called me English Dave.
English Dave. Very classic,
Bring
very
a bit of
simple
culture.
name.
Bringing a bit of culture to the evening.
Yeah,
Right.
fuck this guy. And we're out. If you get the opportunity to try Brewdog, definitely try their beer. I know Elvis Juice is one that you can get around here that's actually pretty popular. This Dream Taker you can't necessarily get here. We brought this back from Brewdog. So for Three Crafty Bastards, the three of us, our guest Dave this evening, we're out of here.
If Noop's still watching, love you.
Hey, yeah, we miss you, Anoop, man. You need